I've just started the process of learning how farming in the UK works at a time when farming's changing anyway. So, but I'm trying. That's all. I wouldn't go around saying I'm a farmer, because I'm not.
As you might be aware, Jeremy Clarkson has taken up farming. We've come along to Diddley Squat Farm in Oxfordshire to see how he's getting along.
I bought the farm in 2008, and then it was contract farmed by a chap in the village, and Caleb was working for him. And then when he said he was retiring, I thought, well, honestly, farming can't be that difficult. Humans have been doing it for 12,000 years. I mean, it's seeds in the ground, weather happens, food grows. I go skiing, fantastic. And then it was talking to Gerald, who's our dry stone waller and security man, and he's also done the combining on this farm for 50 years, hasn't he? Lives in the village. And I was talking to him, and he was such a character, Gerald. And he's either talking about Herbage or Manchester United. Anyway, I was chatting to him, I thought, God, you'd be a great character on TV, and that's where the germ came from. And then I started meeting everyone else around. I thought they'd all be quite good characters for a TV show. Then I started watching TV shows about farming, and it always seemed to me either Kate Humble, and I like Kate, this is not a criticism, but it was Kate Humble, with a bottle and a lamb and some fresh straw in a lovely barn. Or it was the BBC News with, we've got some footage from inside a Texan cattle, shed, which was obviously awful. And then, so nobody really had a clue what farming was. And then once I'd got the characters and thought we could do, wheat, barley, rape, 1,000 acres, perfectly straightforward, ordinary farm, just do that. It's the same as I did on Top Gear and then on the Grand Tour. Is we knew, James, Richard and I, what we were talking about. We know what understeer is and oversteer is, and we know what primary ride and secondary ride. So we know that, and then you can afford to spread the appeal out, but on the basis that you have the knowledge. So people who also have the knowledge. If you put 3 people hosting a car show and who didn't know anything about cars, it would become obvious straight away. And with the farming, that's why I wanted to have Caleb and Charlie, so that farmers watching would go, well, actually, they know what they're talking about. He might not, but they do. And then hopefully I can bring the bigger appeal in. I mean, television is quite a science these days, but I want it to be a big audience so that people go, oh, farming's not that bad. I mean, I watch people who buy cars and they just go and buy a BMW because they don't know anything about cars. They think, oh, that sounds good. So I'm looking at all these tractors, and they all look broadly the same. There are blue ones and green ones, and I quite wanted a Fendt, but they're very expensive. So, and I'm from Yorkshire, so if it's expensive, I don't like it. And the Lambo was incredibly cheap, really. I mean, it's not the most reliable tractor in the. I mean, the steering wheel came off, I admit, and the brakes failed the other day, which was quite bad. Yeah, but you weren't driving it.
No, but
I was going down a hill. So, oh no, oh no, oh no, straight across a road. Oh,
it's got so many levers in different places.
It's got a lot of buttons. Anyway, it said Lamborghini and it looked fantastic. So I bought it, and everyone has told me it's too big, but I don't think it is. Just fits through the gatepost. Your class is like a toy tractor.
My class is. It's practical. That's what you need on a farm. You need a practical tractor. I know for a damn fact I jump in my class and I can go out there and do the job needed. I haven't got to worry about trying to get through the gatepost or the turning circle.
I've knocked all the gateposts down now.
Well, yeah, you have. Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, I didn't realise that when I bought that 270 horsepower tractor, that the little tiny bits of kit that we bought for, planting potatoes, for example, it would just break it if you attached it. I hadn't got a clue that the tractor's too powerful for most of the stuff that I had in the yard. So even now, after it's getting on for 2 years, I still look at the back of my tractor, and I've watched Caleb 1,000 times putting things on and taking them off, and I'm still not 100% certain how to do it. I want to. I would love to be able to go out and hook up the drill or hook up the. I have to ring Caleb, and then he gets cross. I listen, and try to listen and get as much information as I can. And it's very obvious that people who farmed here, whose fathers farmed the farms before them, and their grandfathers before that, they do know what they're talking about. And they're pretty good. They're not. Nobody's poisoning watercourses, and nobody's deliberately killing birds, well, unless they're pheasants, but you know what I mean, it's pretty well. And then you get these 8-year-olds in Whitehall to write the rules. And you think, but how can you know more? I mean, my natural instinct when somebody presents me with a rule is to break it. I got that from school. It's just, I'm going to break it. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to. And I now feel like almost like I've been justified to break half of them because they don't make any sense. Any time I looked out of the window and a pickup truck was coming up the drive, I knew it was somebody arriving to do a job of work. Get out there and do something. Every time I looked out and it was a Vauxhall, and it's always a Vauxhall, it's someone from the government to stop the man in the pickup truck doing what it is he's doing. And it was just, and they all seem to rent Vauxhalls, which just shows their low ambition. Why don't they rent something more interesting? There's always some crummy little Vauxhall insignia coming up the day. Oh no, here we go. Oh, you can't do that because you'll find there's a water vault. There isn't a water vault. They're all in Glasgow. You died, and so I had a post-mortem done, and it came back said it was sudden death. I went, well, John Lennon died of sudden death, but there was another cause that led to the sudden death, which was that he was shot. But you just think, no, actually, I'll bet you any money the sheep waited till, well, they usually get ill about 2 a.m. and then keep you up all night and then die about 7, it seems to me, having rotted or put their head in a fence or whatever it might be. You don't want to kill an animal. Nobody, you'd be a psychopath if you said, I like killing animals. Well, pheasants, but anyway, you know what I mean. You'd have to be a psychopath. So I don't enjoy killing animals, and I don't believe there's a farmer alive who enjoys killing animals. But it's the business, isn't it? I had it to do, and broke my duck, took them off to the abattoir, and then they got slaughtered, and then they've got their own back on me because every time I get a bit of mutton out the freezer, I get a terrible heartburn. So they've, from beyond the grave, they're getting their own back on me. Yeah. Now that we've established that there's a demand for the farm shop, we're trying to. Well, in my head, I'm trying to do all sorts of things going into the future about. There's a circularity to everything, and it all starts to make sense to me financially, and in every way, really. We grow the lamb, we sell it in the shop. We grow the wheat, we sell the flour in the shop, milling or Durham or whatever it might be, and then barley. I've got some very exciting ideas on that. And then so trying to, just trying to see if I can make this farm work. Because last year, whenever there was a financial disaster, I'd had to go and host Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but not every farmer can do that. I still can't understand why my lambs cost more than lambs from New Zealand. I mean, I don't understand that. I want to get to the bottom of that, and I don't really understand how supermarkets can be so much. If I grow something on the farm and then we mill it and then we put it in the shop, how can the supermarkets be cheaper than that? I don't. If all the things I've read about grants are true, I don't see how anyone can make farming pay. I haven't got a clue. I really haven't got a clue. I genuinely don't believe actually most people in this country have absolutely no idea where anything they ever eat comes from. I mean, they just haven't got a clue. Well, food security, yeah, I mean, as I keep pointing out to people who say, why don't we just grow food abroad? Yeah, well, we did that in the 30s. And then the U-boats came along, so that went well. And there's, the OSR, it's, if we don't make vegetable oil out of that, then you can go and buy palm oil, but then don't come crying to me about dead orangutans, because this is what people don't understand. We've been asked this morning, so you're trying to farm sustainably. So what does that even mean? What does sustainable mean? There's no such, when they talk about trains as sustainable, they're not. They're thousands of tons of heavy engineering. Nothing sustainable. So there's nothing sustainable about the farm we're doing here. I mean, I worry that in 100 years the soil will all be gone. But, you're trying to do your best, or I'm trying to do my best on every level. Well, and I'm sure I'm not unusual, but most farmers are trying to do their best to keep the farm healthy, and that's what I've been doing. As I said in the programme, you've got to be a midwife, a vet, an agronomist, a fortune teller, a businessman, a gambler, an entrepreneur, a mechanic. You have to be so many things to be a farmer. And I'm none of those things. I'm the world's worst businessman. I'm totally impractical. I have zero patience. I mean, of all the things you need to be a farmer, I have none of them. But I want to do it.